Cult and classic.
Welcome, friends and fiends, to another mini-sode of Cult and Classic Podcast. These are the in-between short episodes we bring you between main episodes on Tuesdays, where we talk about two thematically linked films, one cult and one mainstream. Of course, on the mini-sodes, we like to branch out and do all sorts of different things to kind of keep your interest and let you know about what's going on in the crazy cult media world. So what do we have today? We have another Zine review episode. We had one last year that people really liked. And for those of you who are kind of like, Nate, you're a film podcast. Why are you talking about other things? Well, most of us don't live solely on film, although I understand it is easy to do so these days. But even if you do, it's probably good to branch out, especially when the power goes out, right, Texas? So I wanted to bring you some different things, including zines. Now, as most of us know, zines are independently published, usually self-published, small books, booklets, that sort of thing that have all sorts of topics. They range the gamuts from personal interests like needlepoint to things like dumpster diving for cool stuff, or art zines, or photo zines, or all sorts of special interests. Basically, any interest you have, no matter how juvenile or how adult, there are zines for it. Many, many zines. Sometimes I say zines. I grew up saying zines. I think the proper way is probably zines since it's short for magazine. But if I slip in and out, you will forgive me. But I've got some really cool stuff to talk about today. And some of them cost money, but some of them are free. And you really can't beat free. And the stuff that costs money is worth it. So let's dive right in. First, I want to let you know that Colton Classic Podcast has our own zines, which you can purchase via our website, Colton Classic Podcast at gmail.com is our email. Our website is coltonclassicpodcast.com, and there's a shop link there, and you can check it out, as well as, of course, listen to all of our good stuff. And keep checking back, because we'll have all sorts of new things coming up this year that are worth your attention. So, uh, that self-plug aside, let's dive right into our reviews for today's mini-sode. So first up, I'd like to talk about a really cool, high-quality, free zine that I came across. I don't know how long it will be going, just because free zines are not easy for people to produce, because, hey, zines, photocopying, shipping, that costs money. But it's a pretty cool zine, so let's take a look. It is the Ghostwatch Photozine. Okay, Ghostwatch Photozine. If you're watching us on YouTube, check us out on YouTube as well. You can watch these episodes, although they post a little later than the audio versions. Ghostwatch Photozine is, as you'd imagine, all about true or legendary paranormal activity. So I've got issues 2 and 3 totally free. Shipping's free, everything's free. This is kind of amazing, and I'm glad that they're doing it, and I hope that they keep doing it. But it bills itself as paranormal photography and lore, and that's really what it is. It's got a lot of different contributors. Also, you can sometimes tell a contributor zine where there's a lot of different people, the quality and the intent of the zine, how much they intend to stick around, by sponsors. A lot of zines, my Cult and Classics included, don't usually have sponsors. This one does. It has Brandon Upson from Vinegar Syndrome, the Archive, Rat Knife Podcast, a whole bunch of people. So people are kind of paying for this, essentially. Does that mean you have ads? Very few, but if you're into this kind of stuff, the ads are great, because it tells us more interesting things that are right up our avenues of interest to check out. So would I recommend Ghostwatch Photozine? Absolutely. You've got really cool stories like, let's see here, local lore, like Lover's Leap Jump Bridge, the Little People's Village in Middlebury, Connecticut. These are people writing about things that have happened to them or others, cataloging mutual experiences that have been sort of orally passed locally through time. So that's really neat. And then back in Ghostwatch Photozine issue 2, because I was talking particularly about number 3, you had ghost sightings. So you had a lot of photographic evidence, people sending in their own stuff. If you like the TV show, well, there's a lot of ghost shows right now, but if you watch the TV shows like Paranormal Caught on Camera, I think they're actually a higher quality than that, as many of those, entertaining as they are clearly faked. But hey, what are you going to do? Everyone's got their own opinions on these things. So definitely check this out. Now, how do you check this out? Well, it used to be available via Instagram, where you could reach out to them at Ghostwatch, where the O is a 0, but that is not up now. I have no idea. Don't know what that means for the future of the zine, but it's worth checking out, especially since it's free. You can email them. So send them an email at ghostwatchpz@gmail.com. That is GHOST watchpz@gmail.com. I know reading emails over a podcast is not a fun thing, but it's great for you because you can check out this cool free zine if paranormal stuff is your interest. So, next up, I want to talk about a really amazingly high quality zine that it comes with a price tag, but it is totally worth it. I'm going to say one more time, totally worth it. Okay. There's an artist in Minnesota, United States, who goes by KICKLIY, KICKLIY. And KICKLIY does some amazingly good works. I believe they're gouache, but they're all sorts of really cool subjects. Right now, if you follow KICKLIY on Instagram, the Instagram tag for KICKLIY is at YILKCIK. And again, guys, these will be in the episode notes, so you don't have to frantically scramble to write down what I'm saying. But it's KICKLIY spelled backwards. Check it out. KICKLIY posts current works, what's working on right now. I think at the moment of this podcast launching, KICKLIY is doing a horror month. So it's got cool paintings of characters from Gremlins. I think Child's Play is in the Scooby Doo, all sorts of cool stuff. But what am I reviewing today? This photozine. Okay, this photozine, if you can see it, I'm sure you can't because most of you are audio, but it's KICKLIY Comics, and it is all about Japanese robots, big robots, Neon Genesis, Evangelions, Evas. We've got, looks like some Mazinger Z in here, I believe. You've even got some Godzilla and Jet Jaguar. I know Godzilla's not a robot, but check out KICKLIY's interpretation, is pretty sweet. Ultraman, all sorts of really cool stuff. And like I said, this is a super high quality photozine. So it is, more than say what I'd call an average zine, which is probably around $5 to $12. This is gonna put it up there, but KICKLIY also has some really cool stuff that you can send, like actual short time sketches and paintings that you can send as well. So there's lots of different options for every budget, but check it out. This artwork is really cool. Follow KICKLIY on Instagram. The artwork is infinitely inspiring. Also, pretty cool artist sent us a great copy with an autograph. So if that kind of stuff is your thing, and let's face it, if you're listening to Cult and Classic Podcast, you very well might be a collector. It's worth collecting these. KICKLIY stuff is amazing. Not only can you follow KICKLIY on Instagram and message directly for copies, but you can go to KICKLIY's website, a4mn.com. A4 probably refers to the size of paper that a lot of illustrations are done on, and MN, I assume, would be Minnesota. So a4mn.com, all sorts of cool prints, books, really cool stuff, and totally worth checking it out. Again, check out everyone's contact info in the notes for this episode so you don't have to, frantically write and listen to my voice at the same time. So we've got one zine producer left to talk about today, and I am super excited to talk about this artist and writer, Jim MAHFOOD. If you're a comic person, you've probably seen Jim's work before. I had the pleasure of meeting Jim a few years ago in the Palm Springs Comic Con, and certainly doubt Jim remembers me, but hey, Jim. Yeah, super amazing stuff. I pulled out 4 of my favorite zines from Jim MAHFOOD. Jim MAHFOOD does not only comic books, but releases like zine sketchbooks with all sorts of cool stuff. I've got the unofficial Tank Girl sketchbook. Jim's got some awesome Tank Girl artwork for those fans. Girl Scouts, that's GRRL Scouts. That is one of Jim's current comic books, and some other crazy sketchbooks, all sorts of cool stuff. Scum of the Earth. Now, I know you can't see it, but let me paint a picture of what Jim MAHFOOD's artwork is like. If you took kind of 70s funk DJ vibe with really rough pen splatter, minimalist, high contrast ink drawing style, throw in some watercolors, choice here and there, you've got Jim MAHFOOD's aesthetic. I remember Jim's first work, I think, from an issue of Scud the Disposable Assassin's Tales from the Vending Machine. That's a deep dive back in the day. Rob Schrab created Scud the Disposable Assassin as an indie comic, left it hanging for quite a few years, and then went back and finished it. Rob Schrab may not be a super familiar name to everyone, but I definitely check out Rob Schrab as well. Rob Schrab has done a lot of TV work as of late, including head writer, I believe, for the Sarah Silverman show when that was running. Really cool stuff. Also worked with Dan Harmon on many projects. I think Rob's probably been doing some stuff for Rick and Morty as well. Really, really cool stuff. Really great artist in his own right. But there was a spin-off of his comic, Scud the Disposable Assassin, called Tales from the Vending Machine. And Jim Mahfood did an awesome, awesome issue on that. And ever since then, I've been obsessed. And definitely check out Jim's work. You can check out Jim under Food One on Instagram. The actual tag is at Jim Mahfood. That's Jim MAHFOOD. Check out the episode notes to get more on that. And of course, you can go to jimmahfood.com to pick up all sorts of cool stuff: books, t-shirts, pins. Um, the secret's out. People know about Jim Mahfood's artwork, and it's phenomenal. And it has a life of its own. Everything has a story and a narrative that really just blows stuff away. Also, if you like alternative gals, Jim's got them in spades. Really, really pretty, kitschy, crazy, sort of off the wall. In people say street art, but really graffiti city vibe to Jim's artwork. Super cool. Check it out. Girl Scouts is a great book. You really can't go wrong. So let's recap. What have we talked about on this mini-sode and our listeners board with me describing visual things? If you feel that's the case, get over it because we describe movies every day in audio form. I'm just kidding. I'm picking on you guys and we love you as listeners. But we've gone through Ghostwatch PHOTOZINE, which is a free zine to check out if you can find it. Hopefully it's still going on. Word was is volume 4 was coming out in March. So as this is posting in February, I think there's still time. Reach out via email. Also, check out KICKLIY's Instagram and website, a4mn.com. Get KICKLIY's books, really awesome. And also, the same with KICKLIY's and Jim Mahfood stuff. Remember, you're supporting the actual artist by purchasing these. Like, you're not supporting a big corporation that's, paying a minimal amount to artists. By picking up zines, you're really supporting grassroots, ground level, direct consumer to creator artwork and transactions. So do it. You don't have anything to lose. And guys, here's the thing. In our studio here in Colton Classic, we have a big wall of zines. Never gets old, never gets old, because every single zine is sort of the blood, sweat, and tears of the person who created it. So things that range from super simple to super complex, it's all great. It's the thoughts of real people like yourself on the page, and everyone can make them. So if you think these sound really cool, well, why don't you try making some of your own? You don't have to be an artist, or you can be an artist, or you can just write stuff, or you can collage stuff. There's all sorts of resources online to check out for creating zines. So do it. And if you do create zines, send us a copy. Reach out to us at Colton Classic Podcast on Instagram or Colton Classic Podcast at gmail.com and request our review address, and you can send it on over and we will talk about it. Also, look forward to more zines from Colton Classic Podcast Publishing because we've got some cool stuff in the works that I think you'll be excited about. Again, Ghostwatch, Jim Mahfood, and KICKLIY's artwork and zines are absolutely worth your time. Follow them on Instagram. If you don't have any money, Ghosting is free, but Ghostwatch Zine is free. But also go to Instagram and follow. Everyone gets a benefit when you follow, because when you follow someone on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, and you see stuff that you like from them, like it, share it, retweet it, repost it, giving credit, of course, to the original tag, because then your friends and family will see what you like and go, oh, that is cool. And maybe they'll get it for you, number one, or they'll like it too, and maybe they'll get it. And it really, really helps. It makes a network of like-minded creators, just like film. Who you know, who you follow, who you like, who you keep around in your life matters. So check that stuff out. I'm super happy to bring these to you every couple of months. And follow us on Tuesday for another episode of Colton Classic, where we discuss two thematically linked movies, one mainstream, one cult. I'm Nate Wyckoff, comedian and film critic and host. And to play us out, as always, is Colton Classic's house band, The Chud, with All About Evil. I want to give a shout out to the people not only that we reviewed in this podcast, but also the people who send us things to review: films, books, magazines, games. We've got some really cool stuff to talk about in the future. Keep sending it in. We love reviewing it, and we love getting the word out there on what you guys create. It's what we're all about. Have a great one. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Cult and Classic Podcast. This podcast is important to me, but what's more important are the rights, privileges, and freedom from violence of everyone in this country and in this world. And that means supporting Black Lives Matter. If you'd like to make a donation, please go ahead and visit cultandclassicpodcast.com, where we have a list of places you can donate and help out. And please stay safe.